Hello people of the web and welcome back to Dragon's Lair. Sadly it's been a while since my last episode, but I'm here ready to record and show off some more from my viewer server, which is kindly provided by Nodecraft. You'll note that I'm wearing something a little bit different. I'm between streams at the moment and I haven't had time to change. Let's fix that. Much better. This episode we're going to focus on a couple builds by Gingerbeard Man, one of the most productive members of the community. He's built a lot of things, so I'm sure that we'll look at more builds in the future, but today we're going to start off at the iron farm, which means I need to fly off. Ooh, flying in F5 is weird. Kind of majestic though. Well, that's everything I don't need currently put away, although at some point I seem to have mislaid my axe. Sure will turn up somewhere. Small bit of backstory for you regarding the iron farm. Gingerbeard Man built an iron farm early on in the server, and at some point we realized that it wasn't efficient enough because so many people needed iron, and so he tore everything down and started afresh. Now this is Ginger's nether hub area. I believe he has plans for it, but in the meantime there's guests of honor. We're gonna hope that they ignore us and head through, and I will show you the iron farm. Well, iron farms. You'll see what I mean. Now, before I step away from the portal, I want to take a moment just to admire this build. Ignore the little thing behind it. Let's pop me into spectator mode. Now, this nether portal, I love it. Just because of how much texture and depth there is. You've only got, actually, you've got 4 different block colors. So you've got stone, stone, andesite, black stone, no, deep slate, that's the one. Oak, spruce, path. It's relatively simple. However, it just adds depth and I love it. And I'm always guilty of just building a simple, 3x4 portal and going, yep, that'll work. And not decorating. This I love. I am gonna quickly just check if there's any trades in here, because I don't often see a wandering trader. He has sand. Minor detour. Hang on. I have emeralds. Now, on this server, we have a limited world size, and we do not have a massive desert. So when I see this sand, it's always worth buying. And sure, I'll take the drip leaves too. Everything else, not too worried about it. There. And now for the rest of the video, I have sand in my inventory. So, on to the main subject of the video, the iron farm. Now, as you can see, it's big. Each one of these wings is an iron farm in itself. 3 villagers, 3 beds, a zombie that pops up and down occasionally to spook them, and a platform for an iron golem to spawn on. So, in effect, they get spooked. They try and summon an iron golem, and the only spawnable space for the iron golem would be either on this track here or on the roof above, because everything else is either slabbed or stairs or got something else on top. So you get iron golems that way, but not just once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times. 4 times per layer, and 5 layers, which is a lot, to say the least. Kind of surprised we haven't got any iron golems going currently. Did I break something recently? Possibly. We'll ignore that for now. Just admire the glory that is this beautiful build. He could have just left them floating in the sky, but decided to wrap them up. Love the colours. Spruce? Deep dark oak? Dark oak, I think. I'm not good at remembering wood types. But a big build. Now we're going to head, let's go into creative, and then I can do this, which saves me having to hold shift. Down this chute here. I worked on this area very recently. So when Ginger initially built this, he left it as a blank canvas. The idea is that, let's take this. So this is how the blank canvas looked. There was 4 wings, each wing with 4 rooms, and people could decorate their room. Just an AFK spot. You stand here, iron farms are loaded, and you generate all you could possibly need in the way of iron. And then when you're finished, step off and you can leave. But as no one was taking on the project of decorating this area, I thought I'd give it a go. And I'm quite happy with this. It's nothing special. It's still, you know, it's a relatively small room, but it gives you access to grab the iron. And poppies, of course, because we all know that that's the real reason to build an iron farm is poppies, of which we have some. And I decorated this tunnel. The idea would be that the other 3 would probably be decorated the same. And then you just have a double door to your room, same as in the undecorated one. Undecorated? I think that's a word. If not, you know what I mean. And then another portal. The idea is that people come in via the overworld and see it in its majesty before dropping down. There's also an exit on the behind of the nether portal. So if we switch out to regular survival so that I don't instantly go through, we poke our heads past it, bubble elevator. Although I feel tempted to rip out all of the dirt and stone around and replace it with deep slate tiles. Do you know what? I think I might do that in stream in a bit. So that is the iron farm. It's amazing, and I think it deserves a thumbs up on YouTube, just to show some appreciation for a lot of work that went in so that everyone on the server has plenty of iron, including myself, who used 1 or 2 stacks for his build in the end, which I haven't shown in a showcase, but if you've been watching the streams, I'm sure you're aware of it. Ah, iron golems. They do exist. Maybe it was the wrong time of day? I don't know. As you can see, they drop down fairly frequently. It's efficient enough. Yep. Oh, yep. Nope. Yeah. Okay. You get the point. That's a lot of death. The other thing that I want to show you that's in this area, I can't remember which direction it's in. So, let's just pick one at random and hope. I mean, it could be this way, but it probably isn't. I'm going to have to look it up on the map. Ugh. Sometimes it's nice to be right. Other times, I hate being right. Each direction I went, this is probably not the right direction either. I was right 3 times. It's a 1 in 4 chance of going in the right cardinal direction. And it took me 4 attempts. But we're here now, so we can admire this build. Let me put cinematic mode off. I think we really need to show this off from over this side, where there is, of course, a conveniently placed nether portal that I could have used, but I figured it wouldn't take long to fly. And it wouldn't have if I'd have chosen the correct direction to start with. But I didn't. Now, the first thing you'll see is this is a moss farm. It's amazing. And I don't know where to turn it on. I'm sure there'll be instructions. Follow to on off switch. See? Ginger has made it idiot proof, which suits me perfectly. Follow down the pathway. Do not log out without first stepping off the plate. Is this the on off switch? Which case? Because I'm not a bad boy. And I wouldn't ever log out without changing things. Let me grab a lever so that I can turn it on and then still fly around the area. So we go like that, which turns there. That wasn't quite how I planned to. Ah. Okay, TNT maybe jump, but I'm sure it's fine. Okay, let's head up and we can see how the moss farm works. So essentially we got bone meal coming into these dispensers, dispensing bone meal onto the moss blocks, which then makes it spread. We have stone generators, which extends the stone out. And a weird mechanic of Minecraft is that moss blocks get crushed by other blocks pushing into them. So as the stone gets pushed, all the moss blocks pop up and then flow towards the hoppers. Underneath the sticky pistons? What's the word? Just pistons. Extended pistons, that's what I was thinking of. And all of that moss gets turned into bone meal. And the idea is that you generate more bone meal from the moss than you use to create the moss. And it works efficiently enough that the bone meal from this, once it's all full, ends up going out of the system over that way, as evidenced by occasional bone meal floating by. See? This is all the spare stuff. And this bone meal goes over here and powers bone meal dispenser over, I forgot what the word is, mycelium? Which produces the crimson stem and nylium stem. Which then gets blown up by TNT, which is dropping from a duper. And then all of the netherwart blocks and the stems end up in the water, going down. And we have a filtering system so that the stems get kept over here, everything else gets filtered out, and if there's anything that's full, in theory, it goes to the end and gets composted. And that compost goes back into the system. Yeah, so it's just a dispenser, throws out the bone meal, goes up here into the water stream and back into the system. I'm sure it would work perfectly well without the overflow from that. Obviously, it would be provided just by that, but an extra little bit helps. It works. Now, this system is quite slow at generating stems because essentially it's just ejecting whatever's on there and bone milling it, hoping each time that it will eventually be a little mushroom. You can end up with a lot of mushrooms in a row, or you can have a long period without them. But fully automatic, nothing going to waste. It's brilliant. I say nothing to go to waste. There was over here, but that could also be fixed if it was worth worrying about. It isn't. It's a beautiful build and very useful for the server, and I should probably use more of these as a wood supply because I keep making chests out of birch wood and then having to farm loads of birch wood. This would be a lot better. So, as I don't want to break the machine, I'm going to do the honourable thing and turn it back off. Wait for it. Ta-da! Turn it off. This grass is a cheesy block of grass. I do not want it. Where can I put this? Here we go. Ha! Now we'll grab that before it despawns. We're fine. And that is the iron farm, the moss farm, and the stem farm all shown off. Thank you very much for watching. If you could hit that like button, it would be a very much appreciated. Goodbye. This video was recorded over 2 months ago with Ginger, but I kept putting off editing. So this is a fresh recording, and I think you can tell that I'm a little bit rusty.